record, fall asleep.
And we're live.
Oh, yeah, we're live.
Rob didn't tell me again that we're live. I don't know why he does that. Well, Rob, it was a good weekend for you from the standpoint of Baylor winning the national championship.
Woo!
Good weekend for you. I think it allows you to salvage a profit now on the
Yeah. It was
maybe.
before we get into that, welcome to the Gambling Shack. I am Robert Harris, aka Bobby Beats, aka Spicy Boy, according to
Icy boy.
according to Gabe. You can follow me on Twitter at Robo Harris Jr. Alongside myself, my main partner, Gabe Myers, man. Follow my man, G_Myers 33. Like you were saying, Gabe, incredible victory by the Baylor Bears over the Gonzaga.
The Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah, that's what I don't know why I blanked. Bulldogs. Big upset victory, by the way. Baylor were 4.5-point dogs.
It was an upset because of the way it happened. Had Baylor won a 3-point game, that was, no one would have called it an upset. But because they won by 16 and really controlled the game throughout, that's made it an upset. So I actually ended up. I bet. So I had an opportunity after Gonzaga beat UCLA on Saturday. I had an opportunity.
Gotcha.
So Gonzaga was the favorites against Baylor, and I had Gonzaga winning the national championship. I'd bet that, here, and I had my Gonzaga ticket, and it occurred to me, I was like, oh, should I hedge and pick Baylor to win? I started thinking that, and I was like, I don't like to hedge. But then it occurred to me, Baylor is the underdog.
True.
And 4.5 points is not nothing. Like that's not nothing as an underdog. And I think, I thought, and I said this before, I thought Baylor and Gonzaga were the best two teams, and I thought Baylor could beat Gonzaga. Obviously, it ended up doing so. I thought Gonzaga would win, but I didn't think it was out of the realm of possibility that Baylor would. So I said, wait, if I bet Baylor on the points, if Gonzaga wins and covers, I cash that ticket. If Baylor wins outright, I can cash my Baylor in the points ticket.
True.
But if Gonzaga wins, it was 4.5. If Gonzaga wins by less than 5, I can go cash both. So it's very rare you get the opportunity to hedge and also increase your winnings at the same time.
True.
So I went ahead and did that. And then when Baylor came out really hot to start the game, I wasn't stressing at all because it's like, you know what? I profit regardless.
Yeah, true.
I profit regardless. So I bet enough to where it was a profit regardless of outcome. So I was pleased with that. It's rare you get that opportunity to do something like that. But I was able to do that. So I wasn't totally upset with the Baylor victory. Upset.
Yeah, watching the game, it was crazy to see Baylor find that rhythm, find that 3-ball rhythm in the first half, and just very aggressive on the defensive end. Every time the Zags would touch the ball, at least a double team coming your way, especially when the Zags would throw it in the post to Timmy. Here comes the double team. Here comes the swag. Get the ball out real quickly by Mitchell, by Teague. Let's go on the other floor. Let's make something happen. For myself and the betting standpoint, I had Baylor already at 4.5. Now the over for the total of the game just is screwed with me a little bit.
I almost went and placed that bet as well because I was like, man, that's going to hit. But, I mean, credit to Baylor's defense. They never let Gonzaga. That was a shocking thing for me. Like, if you told me before the game Baylor wins, I'd be like, yeah, okay, these are two best teams. I think Baylor's, I'd always thought, if these teams played 10 times, Gonzaga would win like 6 of them. I think my opinion has kind of switched the other way on that now. But what was shocking to me was I thought where you mentioned Baylor's aggressive defense, like I watched a lot of Baylor this year, and I'm familiar from the past with the program, and I just watch them a lot. So like I know what they do defensively. And so I knew what Gonzaga was up against, but I thought Gonzaga with their passing and movement would be able to take advantage of the over aggression Baylor plays with sometimes, which is why I also like the over, because Gonzaga is a great offensive team and not the greatest defensive team in the world. Baylor is a really good defensive team, but I thought it was a tricky matchup. And Baylor can really score. They can really shoot the rock. So I was like, okay, I really like overs here, even though it is 160, which is really incredibly high for a college basketball game. But I mean, Baylor's offense just kept Gonzaga in the mud for the entire game. I mean, they just kept them. They kept them in the mud for the entire game, and it's nothing. It's not Gonzaga played bad or Gonzaga choked or Gonzaga. It was Baylor just beat them.
Yeah.
Baylor just. I texted my friends. They out athleted them. I mean, they out athleted them. I mean, that's nothing was. No pass was easy. They got a couple of dump offs to Timmy in the paint for easy buckets, but other than those, like there was no easy buckets. Even like threes, like there were never really any open threes. Like Baylor just seemed. It felt like they had 6 or 7 guys on the court. When they were playing defense. And credit to them, they made Gonzaga look pedestrian on offense. This is a team that I thought was, and I still think is probably the best offensive team I've watched in my lifetime in college basketball. But Baylor just did what they do, and all credit to them. But yeah, luckily I didn't bet the overs. I didn't, but luckily I didn't bet the overs. I just bet the points in Baylor. So I wish Gonzaga would have won by like 3 because I would have been collecting a lot more money on Tuesday had they had done that. But you get a win's a win, and congratulations to Rob hitting on he's doing well in the future. He's doing well in the future's best over here.
Thank you. But yeah, like you repeat, I'm gonna just repeat off you. Pretty much, Baylor was just very athletic on both ends of the ball, offense and defense, and they didn't let up in the second half. I had a feeling like maybe the Zags can get back in this game, but Baylor just stuck to the script. Just kept being very, very aggressive on both sides of the ball. Mitchell, man, is a amazing talent. Teague, these guys are transfers. Like, Mitchell came off the bench from Auburn. I just read that Teague also, this is his last name. He came from UNC Asheville. The center, I can't pronounce his last name.
Kamwa Chachua, he's a UNLV guy.
UNLV guy. So like these guys, pretty much what I'm coming from, like Texas Southern, like I'm seeing a bunch of transfers in and out that school, and I'm getting to see it in that Baylor fit into Scott Drew's system. And these guys blossom very well. And you got to tip your hat to Scott Drew. Came in 2003, promised the national championship title. 18 years later, he set his promise on it.
Yeah. No, and I want to say about the Baylor program before we go into this week's stuff is when I was in high school, I went, I played different tournaments, did different basketball camps. It's just part of the youth basketball circuit. If you're a guy who wants to play college basketball, then that's just kind of what you do. And I ended up at Baylor, on multiple occasions. I was there for camps and different stuff. And in the camp, it wasn't like Baylor basketball camp that I had went to. It was like a different camp being run at Baylor. Like when I would go there, it wasn't like Baylor basketball. It was stuff that was happening like at Baylor. Gotcha. But Scott Drew and his coaching staff and the players they had at the time, it was Quincy Acey and Pierre Jackson were the main guys who were with us then. They couldn't have been better to us and to me, to the high school kids that were there. They couldn't have treated us any better. The coaching staff, the players on the team that were helping out, the training staff, medical, all that, facilities, everything. Like they couldn't have been any better to us. So even though I would have liked Gonzaga to win from a financial standpoint, I really like that program as well. Really happy for the Baylor program because I've had nothing but good experiences with them, and I have nothing but good things to say about them. So happy for them. Just in my little experiences I've had with them, they've just been nothing but good to me. And I was not anyone who was on their radar as far as a recruit goes or anything like that. I was, it wasn't like they were trying to recruit me or anything. I was not on that level. But, I mean, they just couldn't have been – they could not have been better. I mean, they could not have treated us better. So,
for sure.
just a little shout out to the Baylor program right there.
All right, let's move it on to our picks for the week. Basically, we're not gonna talk about our picks from last week, but
I don't even remember what my picks from last week were.
They were okay. Let's move on.
We're gonna move on.
Let's move on. Well, Gabe, if you didn't know, this month is big in the golf world. It's called the Masters. They had it in November because of the COVID situation.
Yeah, one genius picked Dustin Johnson, though.
Yeah, he did. I remember his exact words. Man, Dustin Johnson is plus, did you say 500 live bet at the time? No, you put $50 down. I forgot what the odds were. And I was like, okay. Like, I don't know. For me, it's like, I'm not a big prop bet guy, but I need to get into it. But you bet it, then I watched. I was actually operating that game for work. I mean, we're operating that tournament, and I just kept seeing Dustin Johnson for birdie. Dustin Johnson. I just kept hearing Dustin Johnson for birdie. For birdie. I was like, man, this guy is racking them up.
It was like an all-time low score, like at that course. Like he was absurd that weekend. So
he won by like 4 or 5 strokes.
No, he won like comfortably. Like the back nine on Sunday wasn't even like, unless he like quadruple bogeyed something, it wasn't even going to be a compelling ending.
Well, according to Bovada.com, Dustin Johnson, of course, the defending champion, was the favorite at plus 800, and
he was plus like 600 in some places. He was because he plays that course really well. But no, he was like last year when I bet him, it was I want to say it was 1100.
Okay,
I want to say it was 1100. I can't remember. It was over. I know it was over 1,000. Not that much over 1,000, but it was over 1,000. And usually, unless it's like prime Tiger Woods, you just from a value standpoint, golfers under 1,000 are like, it's hard just because the field's so big. Kind of like what I was saying with baseball last week, where it's like baseball is so weird. Like the Dodgers and Yankees are so high up there. It's like you don't even want to touch that really. And that's kind of how I am with the Masters. And you did this, and this is what I like to do with golf. I didn't do this last year, but I've done this in other tournaments where I'll put like $10-$20 down on like 5 different guys.
Yeah.
So the last 2 Masters I had gotten a winner. I had Tiger the year before. I put money down on Tiger for the sole purpose of wanting to be able to root for Tiger if he was in it on Sunday. That worked out. And then Dustin Johnson last year. So couldn't go to the casino to gamble for this year's Masters. After I collected my Baylor winnings, I had to do some stuff on my car. So money, we gotta take care of the priorities first.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I didn't really pay attention to the odds like after that as far as who I would bet. But you got 2 picks, so give us your 2. You got 2 guys, so give us your 2 guys.
I mean, these 2 guys have been talked about a lot, according to the analysts from Golf Channel TV, ESPN, who do golf analyzing as well. For me, Justin Thomas to win the Masters outright, plus 950. He finished 4th last year, and for the Masters. So a lot of people are very hyped up on Justin Thomas. I want to give a disclaimer. I know that we're recording on April 8th of 2021. Day 1 has pretty much is over.
I think they're done for the day.
Yeah, they're done for the day. I know daylight savings time is 8:24 in Georgia and Augusta. So Justin Thomas currently is 1 over par. I'm getting the lingo down. He's 1 over par. He started off shaky. He was 3 over par one time, but he got a birdie on the last whole. What they call it? The back. They don't call it the back now. What they call
So
it?
it's just the 18th. It's
No,
just
the
the
18th. So he got a birdie on that saved his behind to go from 3. Well, he was actually 2 over. Then he's now at 1 over. So I feel good about that being day one, kind of.
Right. You want to see him move up the leaderboard a little bit.
Yeah, of course. You do. And the next guy, Jordan Spieth, he's been playing great lately. He was plus 1,200 and he's 1 under par. So he's on the up. He's on the up.
Yeah. So with Jordan Spieth, he's a guy who's similar to Dustin Johnson, has really always played the Masters course very well. He's always played Augusta very well. He had that 1 year where he melted down because like his first major ever, he was playing at Augusta and he was like 20 years old and he finished in second. Like he was like right there. And like it was like the next year or 2 years later, he ended up winning it. And then he almost won it again. And then he had a meltdown. And it took him a while to recover from that. He's like finally now, like mentally, he's back. So this is a course he plays really well. So I do like him. But I like Justin Thomas a lot also. The only thing is like that 1,000 number is like my cutoff. Like that's why I wouldn't have bet Dustin Johnson this year. As you know, he's the best golfer in the world right now. But it's just like, man, it's it's so hard. A name that I think that I was thinking of betting possibly was Jon Rahm. And he was the guy who was in the lead the year Tiger won it. And he kind of melted down because he was in the same group with Tiger on Sunday. And that was a little bit more eyes than Jon Rahm had ever had on him before playing with Tiger Woods on a Sunday at the Masters. And he fell apart a little bit. Really good golfer, though. And he's a guy who he hasn't won a major yet. He'll eventually get one. And he was in that 2,200 area before the tournament started. I'm not sure what the standings are right now. But he was the guy I was kind of looking at. But that 1,000 number for me, like that's a hard cut for me right there. Is like that 1,000. Just again, golf is just so like I say, baseball is so weird. Golf is just so weird like that. So going on to baseball, I was in Denver this last weekend, so I'm a bet on the Rockies plus 120 to beat the Giants tomorrow, Friday. The guy that got pitching, Austin Gomber, he was like the main piece of the Nolan Arenado trade. Allowed 3 runs in the first inning against the Dodgers. Here's the thing, though. He only allowed 1 hit through like 4 or 5 innings to the Dodgers lineup. He just couldn't find the strike zone early on. He was just walking dudes, putting them on, and he had an error as well, which made like if he didn't commit the error, it would have been a double play in the first inning, but he commits the error. This is a guy who's able to get people out. And the Giants are not that good of a team. I like the Rockies. I think Gomber comes out second start, a little more relaxed. He's it's not a Sunday Dodgers crowd at Coors Field. It's a Friday night Giants crowd, and the Giants suck as well. So there's going to be about 10 people in the stands there. You get tickets for $6. I was looking at it with Rob before the show. You get tickets for $6 at Coors Field. There's a reason for that. They're not very good. The team or the tickets. But it's I think Gomber will settle in. I think we'll have a good start. Giants aren't a very good team at all. So I think the Rockies will come in at Coors Field, get the win at home or get the win on the road. I like or I think they are at home or on the road at home. I don't care. They're going to win. Gomber's going to pitch well, like the Rockies. Also, my second one, I have Mackenzie Dern in UFC this weekend, fight night. You got Marvin Vettori and Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland let me down a couple weeks ago when I was in Vegas. But not betting on Kevin Holland this weekend, even though I do hope he wins. But Mackenzie Dern plus 115 against Nina Asaroff. I think Mackenzie Dern in that flyweight division, one of the real up-and-comers, great jiu-jitsu game. Things, especially in the women's division, those girls who have really, really good jiu-jitsu, they're really on the rise right now. Mackenzie Dern is one of them. She's on a hot streak. She's won several fights in a row. I like Mackenzie Dern as a slight underdog, plus 115 to beat Nina Asaroff this weekend.
All right. To finish it off for me, hey, shout out to the Bearcats. Sam Houston and McNeese over 58.5. Look, both teams can score. McNeese almost upset at Nickel State last week. They almost took them to the I guess I'm trying to think of the right terminology. Hey, almost went head to head with them and almost knocked out their playoff chances, I guess, according to my good friend David Berry, who used to write for McNeese. But anyway, 43. McNeese actually won 43-31 against Nickel State last week. So, hey, you put up 43 points against well, they don't play. Well, they do play good defense. Nickel State. You come in and you facing a high octane offense at Sam Houston. Hey, shoot at field goal to win this. Who want to win this game? Of course, Sam Houston will win this game because I think they are at home. But this will be a good test for McNeese. Can you upset two big schools in the Southland back to back?
No, I like the over here as well. I'm with you. I stole this from you and put it in my parlay. Actually, okay. I like this one. I didn't like the 14-point spread because I got burned by Sam Houston last week. They couldn't put away a terrible Northwestern team, and that's part of the reason why I like the over this week because Sam Houston's offense was very sloppy last week. It just wasn't good. They were playing a Thursday night game, and it just wasn't. Nothing ever clicked. It was sloppy turnovers, bad snaps. Quarterback getting out of the pocket, should throw the ball away, but he's trying to do too much and take like a 15-yard sack. Plays like that just you shouldn't be doing. I think Sam Houston bounces back this weekend offensively. Their defense is solid. That's the only hesitation I have, but I do like this overs pick because I do think Sam Houston, I think they're going to put 40+ on the board. And like you said, McNeese can put some points up there as well. So even if Sam Houston's defense is playing really well, I do think McNeese will clear 20. I do think they'll put at least 20 on the board, and that's me saying the Bearcats defense is really playing very, very well. They did lose Zion McCollum, one of our best defensive backs, him and his twin brother Tristan. Or it was a Tristan. One of the McCollum twins is, he got injured last week. I'm not sure if he'll be back in there this week. If he's not back there, it's a blow to the secondary. Another thing going in favor of the overs here. I'm with you. Like I said, I stole it in my parlay. I like the overs here as well, 58.5. Then my third one, Liverpool, Aston Villa under 3 goals. Here's my thing with English Premier League. Here's my thing. Liverpool has a big Champions League matchup coming up on Wednesday against Real Madrid. So if Liverpool scores a goal early, they're gonna try and just like bleed out the clock. They're not gonna really keep going forward. They're, especially if they get up 2-0, they're just going to start holding the ball. They're not going to really take a bunch of risks. They're not going to want to run their guys into the ground because they're down 3-1 to Real Madrid in Champions League. They gotta be 100% for that if they want to advance to the semifinals. So I think Liverpool is going to be very methodical and they're going to be very slow this week. They're not going to be trying to do too much against Aston Villa. They're just trying to get in and get out of that game. So I like the under 3 goals there.
Might have to look into that.
So watch it. Manchester City also has big Champions League game in the Premier League. They're playing Leeds United though. I was looking at that game as well, but I like this one. I like this Liverpool, Aston Villa. I like this one better. And Man City is also weird because they kind of got and I'll talk more about Man City here in a minute. But they kind of got the Premier League locked up, so you really don't know what you're getting from them, and you don't really know what you're getting from them week to week. Is Pep Guardiola, the manager, going to decide to play some of the young guy? You just don't know what's going to do because they basically got the league. Like on Bovada, it's not like officially locked up yet, but on Bovada, you can't even bet them to win the league because they're so far ahead of everybody else. You can only bet like who's going to finish second place.
Oh wow. Yeah, so that's
I'll touch on Man City here again in a minute when we get to the futures portion.
Gotcha. That's our locks. That's our picks for the week. Here are our locks of the week, or lock of the week. We're gonna stay in football. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're gonna FCS. It's been interesting watching on TV. Caught a couple swag games and. He's trying to root for the young kids, who, let's face it, they get overlooked at times, or some they get drafted. PJ Hall, when he got drafted from Southern Houston.
He didn't just get drafted. That man got overdrafted. I was at his pro day. He got drafted because of his pro day. Dude ran a 4.67 40. I timed it. I timed it. He ran a 4.67 40, and I didn't believe it. And I looked over at the guy next to me. I said, "What do you have?" He goes, "I had a 4.65."
Oh wow!
And then I went to like one of the scouts there, and the scout wouldn't tell me his time. There were like 15 different teams had guys there, and he wouldn't tell me his time, and he just goes, "I'll just tell you it's very good," and that's all he said.
Yeah, he went second round actually.
Yeah, he went second round. That was a little. I thought he was more of a fourth round guy. He went the second. Good to him though. Get that signing bonus money.
Yeah, to the then Oakland Raiders now. Now he's Las Vegas Raiders.
Now he's back with the Texans, and he's still on the roster over there. Rooting for him. There's a couple other guys in that Bearcat roster that I thought could have been NFL guys, but one reason or another didn't work out. So I'll tell you a team, my lock of the week, the Alabama of FCS football, North Dakota State -8.5 at Northern Iowa. Now, North Dakota State made headlines earlier this season when they lost to, Southern Illinois.
Uh-huh.
They lost Southern Illinois, and it's like, and even I went like, man, Sam Houston might be able to win a title this year if North Dakota State's not themselves. But here's what we got to remember about North Dakota State. Obviously, we all know Trey Lance going to the draft. He's not playing. That was going to be their quarterback. So you have to work a backup in there, a guy who, this time last year, North Dakota State definitely didn't think they'd have to be putting into games because they had Trey Lance. Not only Trey Lance, their left tackle, can't remember the name right now, but he's a borderline first-round pick. He didn't go first round. He's going to go in the second round. He's their left tackle. He's out this year too. So that's two premium players. Probably their two best players that are not playing for them this year, both on the offensive side of the ball. The quarterback and their best offensive lineman, they've kind of worked through those issues now. They're looking like North Dakota State once again. I think that continues. I like them -8.5. I like them to kind of blow the doors off Northern Iowa here because this one, North Dakota State, and even in the years they won national championships, they might lose a game early in the season. One year they lost two, around October. Then November, December, they really pick it up. They really get going. We're starting to see that right now with them. I like North Dakota State -8.5.
All right. Oh, man. Hey.
I was doing some draft research this weekend, so that's how I found out about the offensive lineman. I was doing some draft research.
One time for Trey Lance. Good luck to him. He will be a top 5 pick.
I'm hoping he goes to the Niners. I'm really hoping he goes to the Niners. I'm hoping this Mac Jones stuff is just all smoke. I'm hoping it's all smoke.
I mean, Mac Jones draft stock has risen as well. My lock of the week. We're going to go Nickel State -5 versus Southeastern Louisiana. I'm staying in the Southland.
Man, you're not in the SWAC this week. I'm proud of you. You're going to the Southland.
Nickel State, lost a tough one against McNeese. That's one that you wish you could have back because you were on a quest of pure dominance. Quote unquote, pure dominance. But you wish you could have that one back. But look, this team, scored 75 against Incarnate Word. This team snuck by Northwestern State. This team dominated Lamar 55-0. I think everybody dominates Lamar. Southeastern Louisiana last week won 42-12 against Lamar. So, but this matchup right here is a bounce back game for Nickel State to end on a nice note for the season. You got to beat Southeastern Louisiana. I'm going to tell you why they're going to beat them. What the boy name? Lindsey Scott Jr. 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Need this young man, a senior out of Zachary, Louisiana. That's like near New Orleans. You're getting to New Orleans by that way. Yeah. Well, actually, that's like south of New Orleans, actually. Because like I thought about
you already go through New Orleans then if you get into Zachary.
Yeah, you are. So you know what I'm saying? You need this senior right here to to lead his team to the promised land, to dominate, to get this Southeastern Louisiana team a taste of their own medicine. The spread is only -5. So Vegas is saying it's going to be a little closer game than what most people appear or most people think who's been following the Southland as a whole.
Yeah. So here's the thing, man, and I didn't realize this fully even my first year covering Southland football. I didn't realize it the second year, so I went to the media day. Man, those Louisiana rivalries, man, when you get Nichols and McNeese, Nichols Southeastern, Southeastern McNeese, like Northwestern State, throw them in there. When you get those games, it becomes really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's like a city rivalry in high school. Is what it is. That which I actually just covered last night here in the beautiful town of Las Vegas. But that's what it is, because all these Louisiana is so small. All these kids play against each other growing up. Right. Both teams and rosters, all these kids know each other. These coaches know each other. Probably coach on the same staff at some point in their coaching careers. So that's the one thing I would say is just like these Louisiana rivalries, man, you don't know what the hell is going to go down. I agree that Nichols is the better team, but Southeastern, they're the one school that really played Sam Close in Southland play. So I do have a lot of respect for them. They're pretty consistently good year in and year out. So yeah, I just watch out for the Lions there. I do think Nichols is better, and Nichols right now, they're hanging on to their playoff chances by a thread. I mean, this is a must-win. This is absolutely I don't think Southeastern really's got a shot at the playoffs. Nichols might. The playoff committee for FCS is weird. But Nichols might. It's a must-win for Nichols. I'm with you. And, they're at home, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're at home, so I like that for them as well. They're not obeying COVID rules in Louisiana. So it's I like Nichols here. I do like Nichols. It's just, man, those interstate rivalries in Louisiana, man, it's tough. It's tough out there. I didn't really realize it till my second year covering the conference that it was, because Huntsville, Texas, we don't have, we got the game with SFA, but we've beaten SFA every year for, a decade now. So what rivalry? But yeah.
The Battle of the Piney Woods.
Hey, that coach over there, the coach at SFA, forget his name. He's going to get that program right, though. I think it's like Carthage or something. Like, he's going to get that program right. So yeah, you got Nichols -5. I like that. I got North Dakota State -8.5. We're going with the FCS football. I'm very curious to see what the playoffs look like. We'll have to start doing some NFL draft props here in the next couple of weeks. Draft is only like 3 weeks away, dude.
April 20.
It's 3. I think it's 3 weeks from today.
Yeah, it is. It is.
3 weeks from today. So we'll. I hope there's no games going on.
Yeah, April 22nd.
Oh, 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Crap. Oh, man, I'll just be getting back from Denver. I hope there's no games going on the 22nd, because I ain't leaving my house for the draft. What?
I'm going to tell you this. I'll tell you the first pick so you don't have to stress. Trevor Lawrence is going to
I think that's one of those where I said, like, Manchester City, you can't bet them to win the Premier League because they're too big a favorite. I think that's another one of those. I think that's
Urban Meyer already has the jersey and everything. They already had the press conference.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this. Zach Wilson's going number 2. That's a done deal. If Mac Jones goes number 3, I'm disowning Kyle Shanahan and the Niners. I love Kyle Shanahan, but if he drafts Mac Jones over Trey Lance or Justin Fields, I'm going to lose my stuff. I'm going to lose it. All right, so here, I want to do one futures bet before. Gotcha. So I want to touch on. So I bet the Astros plus 2,500 to win the World Series. Great week, and as we all know, you're supposed to make just rash generalizations about a team after 6 games. That's what you do in baseball. Screw sample size. But after a 5-1 week, they're down to plus 2,000. I told you they were undervalued. Bet market already shifted significantly in that direction. So Just want
the pitching is solid. The bullpen is not.
Bullpen is not good, but there's always bullpen pieces available at the deadline.
True.
There's always there's always pieces available at the deadline. There's always someone you can go out there and get. And remember, the Jake Odorizzi is going to be a starter, moving Luis Garcia to the bullpen. I think Garcia will be a nice addition to that bullpen and a guy that can give you some length.
Yeah.
So it's a young bullpen. I mean, obviously they still need to trade if they want to win the World Series. They're going to trade for someone. But like I said last week, I love the number. That's why I love that number. Because teams like, the Twins were ahead of them. The White Sox were ahead of them. The Mets, the Blue Jays were ahead of them. The Cardinals were ahead of them. Like, I just thought it was ridiculous, all the teams that were ahead of them. And Yankees are plus 550. No, like they're not winning the World Series. Dodgers are the best team on paper, but man, it's hard to repeat. It's so damn hard to repeat,
especially in baseball.
So I like the number, like I said. So with that being said, this is probably another little bit hard overhead pick right here. I'm picking Manchester City to win a Champions League at plus 185. Pep Guardiola, their manager, his Barcelona team really got me to fall in love with the game of soccer, like back in the day. This is like starting like 08, 09. Love watching his teams play. I was sad when he left Barcelona in 2012. He's at Manchester City now. Manchester City, they've won every trophy. They have not won the Champions League. And Pep Guardiola, that's what he wants to win, is a Champions League. And there have been years where I've thought City is the best team, and just for one reason or another, they didn't, they didn't lift the trophy. They haven't even been to the championship. They haven't even been to the final yet. They're in the quarters right now, looking good against Borussia Dortmund. Looks like they're going to advance to the semis, barring something crazy. I like City to win it. I think they're the best team in Europe. They got all the pieces there. I think, teams like Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich, who are really good, I think those teams are flawed. I don't think Manchester City has those flaws. If they do lose, if they don't win the Champions League, it's going to be because they shot themselves in the foot, not because someone beat them. So I like Manchester City plus 185 to win the Champions League.
Okay,
that's my futures bet right there. And then little update. The Panthers traded for Sam Darnold. Not looking great for my Deshaun Watson. But again, like we said with Deshaun, all this crap has to be sorted out before anything's really going to happen. And who knows, the Broncos might take a quarterback. That's kind of because I actually, like, when I did my draft research, I think the Broncos are going to trade up to 4 with the Falcons. That's my because I think the reason why Carolina got Darnold is I think Carolina wanted to trade up as well, but the Falcons aren't going to trade with Carolina to give Carolina a chance to get a quarterback in division. But Broncos in the AFC, Falcons in the NFC, Falcons would be much more willing to go and do that trade.
True.
So I think that's a thing to watch. I think is the Broncos potentially trading up to 4. And then we'll just see what happens with Deshaun Watson. Who even knows at this point? Who even knows?
Yeah. So let's move on. All right. Parlay of the week. Ever since we started, Gabe is the only one who's with a parlay.
Through the first 3 legs, I thought I was going to hit it last week because I was looking okay first 3 legs into it. And then Southeastern started pulling away. I was like, dang, we might get it. And then Gonzaga didn't come through in the first half. I was like, man, I hit 4 out of 5 on that.
Yeah.
If I round robin did, I would have got something out of it. So, so this is a segment of the show where we make Rob compromise on his beliefs, and we make him do a straight leg parlay. So, Rob, tell us why we don't do a straight leg parlay, as is customary.
Because when one doesn't hit, the whole ticket falls apart. And
what's the alternative here?
Oh, round robin. Always.
Yeah. We got to tell the new people what this stuff is, man. We got to educate them.
Yeah, round robin, basically, you can do a 2 out of 3. Let's just say you got $60. You put 20 down as the total bet. 20 times 3 is 60. And then most likely the payout will probably be like 150, 160, depending on the odds. And if you get 2 out of 3, you still win some money. Now, the whole ticket hit, what you want, get some money. And I tell you a cold round robin story I hit on baseball, just real quick. It was money line Cincinnati Reds, the under Royals and Indians, Red Sox -1.5 versus the Rays, and to top it off, Toronto Blue Jays 1.5 cover versus the Rangers. The whole ticket hit. I was, oh my goodness, I was sweating bullets.
You bet the Red Sox over the Rays and you hit it. Man, that's
Hey, look, they scored 6 runs in 1 inning. I said, oh, thank you, Jesus. They found some more. Hey, and they end up winning that game, 10-1, 9-1, something like that.
Okay, so you weren't even sweating that one by the end of it.
Yeah, I was only sweating the Toronto Blue Jays, but it was a pitcher's duel. Marcus Semien hit a home run. I said, oh, let's go. And then when you're rooting for unders in baseball, I think that's the one sport that you're supposed to root for unders because
you can justify it by saying it's a pitcher's duel.
Yeah.
In every other sport, you're rooting for like bad basketball or bad football, But baseball, it's like, yeah, man. So when I went to Dodgers Rockies on Sunday, DraftKings is, it's out there. It's not in New Mexico, but it's out there in Colorado. So I put some bets down on that game I was at, and one of them was over under on strikeouts for the pitcher Julio Urias, and I bet overs and he hit it. So there we go. I also bet, man, because I was thinking like, man, let me bet a couple home run props. So I bet Justin Turner and Chris Taylor at plus 350 and plus 400 to hit home runs. And they just because I thought, man, Coors Field, those two guys especially, like they have that kind of uppercut swing. They really like to get up under the ball. But man, like only 6 runs were scored in the game. Like it was a pitcher's duel all day. So I was like really disappointed. And then they walked Chris Taylor 3 times. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
and then he went 0 for 1 with 3 walks. And on the 0 for 1, he had a 3-ball count. So they just were not throwing the dude. They were pitching him like he was Barry Bonds, man. I was like, oh, come on. And then I also had what's his name? I have Mookie Betts over 1.5 hits. First 2 at bats, dude walks. I was like, you got to be kidding me, man.
I ain't gonna lie. It's nothing like being at a game, you know what I'm saying, when you got some money down on it, or like you make a live bet like at a game.
That's what I love about DraftKings, because you can just do that right there on your phone.
Yeah, that too. That's what I'm saying. I haven't been in a state where it's legalized yet. Well, I mean Louisiana, but they don't have really.
Yeah,
just go to casino.
And baseball is like the easiest sport to do that with, as far as live betting, like in the game, because you got those like half inning breaks, so you can go in and do that real quick.
For sure.
So yeah, that's my little story right there. So yeah, Mookie came up in the 9th inning with 1 hit and then popped out. I was like, gosh dang it, Mookie.
Oh man.
But we hit over on strikeout and we hit over on runs in the 1st inning. So we came away okay on the day.
Oh yeah.
We came
back solid.
We came away.
Let's go. Parlay of the week. Let's go. Justin Thomas to win the Masters, like I previously said, plus 950. Finished 4th last year in the COVID Masters in November. So he's 1 over par. Got the terminology right. He's 1 over par for day 1.
We need a good day 2. That's what we get a good. Tiger was 4 shots back after day 2 when he won in 19.
Okay,
so you don't got to be at the top of the leaderboard. You just got to be there. You got to be within 1 good round.
And yeah, speaking of Tiger, Justin Thomas and Tiger Woods are very, very close.
They're tight.
So So they're very tight. So he talked to Tiger, and they talked before the Masters. So hopefully that could lead to some inspiration and motivation. Next, Sam Houston -14 versus McNeese. This is a long shot for me. I don't know if they'll blow them. Well, they might blow them out. They might blow them out. It just depends on, like you said, what type of defense are we going to see from the Bearcats.
Mm-hmm.
We're staying in Southland again. Incarnate Word -10 versus the struggling, and I mean struggling, Northwestern State. Yeah, they're struggling. I'm pretty sure you got some more details on that, but they are struggling. This is a long shot. This is one of them games. See, the NBA season this year is kind of tricky. You know who your tank teams are, you know who your bad teams are, and you know who your good teams are.
Well, you got a couple of tank teams, or maybe a tank and you have a tank and a bad. I don't know if I think one of them is just bad. I don't think they're tanking.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna say Cleveland is just a bad team.
I think Cleveland is just bad.
It's a bad team. They got some pieces. They got some pieces. They still got Kevin Love over there, but the contract situation for him is just it's kind of tough for somebody to take that on their hands. And Colin Sexton is a young prospect, good prospect who can hoop. Lottery pick out of Alabama. Stand up. Stand up, Avery Johnson. You're only good player when you were there. I mean, I guess his son. I guess you want to talk about his son. But anyway, OKC +3. They got good young. I can't even say this. They're a tanking team. But then Cleveland is bad. I don't know who to trust. So I'm going OKC +3. Made the bad team win. And my payout just got updated. Is plus $7,205.
Oh yeah, that Justin Thomas Masters pick really puts the odds. That really puts them up there.
It boosts my stock.
Yeah, that.
What a call.
Yeah, that about I think it's sextuple for 6. It's like sextuple in your payout. So yeah, this I'm gonna feel really bad if Justin Thomas wins the Masters and then like Cleveland wins by 4, and that's what ruins your parlay.
I'm gonna be mad.
Oh man,
parlay to hit, man.
All right, my parlay of the week. So first one, Astros, A's. You do series prices in baseball. If I bet baseball, I like to do that more than betting the individual games. Other than like when I go to a Rockies game again, like I'll go bet that individual game for entertainment's sake. But like for trying to win sake, I would rather do a series than the individual game. So give me the Astros -210 in the series over the A's. Obviously swept them over the weekend. They're playing real well, hitting the ball real well. They're actually up 1-0 in the first game right now. Correa home run. But they, I like the Astros to go and win that series this weekend, 3-game series. They're not playing Sunday. It's weird. No Sunday game this week for the Astros. Odd. It is what it is, though. Going with similar to what you're doing, I'm going with a bad team in the points here. Taking the Washington Wizards +4.5 at Golden State. I mean, look, the Warriors are struggling right now, man. I mean, they are struggling. And the Wizards, like I said, they are a bad team, but they're playing better. They're starting to get somewhere. They're starting to do something with Russ. So give me the Wizards +4.5. Golden State's just not playing well at all. Third leg of the parlay, Tottenham, Man United this weekend. I'm going to pick a draw right there. Tottenham's not playing well. Man United is playing pretty well, but Manchester United has a Europa League tie coming up this week as well. They're kind of out of, it looks like they're going to place in the Champions League and the Premier League. They don't, they really can't improve their standing there. I don't think Tottenham's playing very well. I'm going to pick the draw right there, +235. I think that's going to end 1-1. Sam Houston McNeese, like I said earlier, I'm stealing that from you, the overs, 58.5. Putting that in the parlay. touched on it. I think Sam Houston's offense is going to have a bounce back game after a crappy performance last week against Northwestern State. And, I think that, McNeese can score. So I like the overs here. And then speaking of Northwestern State, they're playing Incarnate Word. I like the under 66 here. Northwestern State, their defense actually did okay against Sam Houston, but they can't do anything offensively. So that's I like the under. I like the under 66 here. One thing with betting unders in Southland games is, man, every team runs the no huddle. There's so many possessions.
Yeah.
In a game. There's so many possessions, but I like the under 66 here. I just don't trust Northwestern State offense to really put points on the board. So the mine pays out not even half of yours at 33-41. That Justin Thomas winning the Masters pick was that did something for you.
Oh yeah, I'm going for it, man.
That did something for you.
Well, that is the Gambling Shack. This episode is called Four, but welcome to the Masters, man. I think this is gonna be exciting. The crowd out there. I know the controversy with the voters' law in Georgia and all that.
But you can't move the Masters out of Georgia because that's where the course is.
Yeah,
it's not the U.S. Open or the British Open where it's like they rotate it every year.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Masters is played at this course.
Yeah, so
this is like obviously not nearly as big a scale, but it's like if you move the Texas Open out of Texas.
Yeah. What are they gonna play?
It's just where the Master, it's just where the Masters is. I ain't too mad about them moving the All-Star game out of Georgia because it's in Colorado now, and I'm trying to go to the home run derby at Elevation. Man.
My guy Gio, he mentioned All-Star game in Denver, so yeah, he mentioned it. But so that is the Gambling Shack. If you know, my name is Robert Harris Jr., aka Bobby Beats. Tonight to Gabe is aka Spicy Boy. You follow me on Twitter at Robo Harris Jr. Follow my man Gabe Myers on Twitter at G_Myers33. And as always, people, happy betting.
Happy betting, everybody.